Okay, so today we have the Libertines and Time for Heroes. The title reminds me of No More Heroes by the Stranglers. But anyway, the only song I listened to by this band, or reacted to too, was Don't Look Back Into the Sun. And that was a while ago. And I kind of forgot about this band. I mean, my God. Anyway, the Libertines are finally back today. And this one from, what I've looked up and, looking at lyrics and stuff, just taking a glance, it's a doozy. Only, the song's only, less than 3 minutes. So we're going to try to watch the video, see what happens, and let's get back to the Libertines, and let's go.
Did you see the stylish kids in the riot, shoveled up like monks, set the night on fire, wombles bleed, truncheons and shields? You know I cherish you, my love. But there's rumors spread nasty disease around town. You cut on the houses with your trousers down, a head rush. Ooh. And in the bush, you know I cherish you, my love. Oh, I cherish you, my love. Tell me what can you want, now you've got it all. I've seen is obscene, time will strip it away. A year and a day, I'll build bones, Bill Bones knows what I really know is eating. It's chewing me up, it's not right for young lungs to be coughing up blood. And it's all in my hands, and it's all up the walls. All the stale chips are up and the hope stakes are down. It's all these ignorant faces that bring this town down in the side and sunken with pride. But I pass myself down on my knees. Yes, I pass myself down on my knees. Now tell me what can you want? Now you've got it all. All the seen is obscene. Time will strip it away. A year and a day. And Bill Bones knows what I mean. There's fewer, more distressing sights than that of an Englishman in a baseball cap and will die in the class we were born. Well, that's a class of our own, my love. A class of our own, my love.
Nice little breakdown.
Shoveled up like months at the night on fire, won't bleed, truncheons and shields. You know I cherish you, my love. Yeah, I cherish you, my love.
Ooh, my goodness. Okay, so the Libertines, and my goodness, what was the title? Oh, Time for Heroes. Here we go. Which I guess makes sense, when I hear the song now. Time for Heroes. We need a hero in these times. Oh my goodness, or we need heroes in these times. But anyway, okay, so coming back to the Libertines, and not listening to them for a while. I don't know what I said in my other reaction, but these guys are such a callback to. My goodness, it's up my mouth. Anyway, it's such a callback to, like, punk from the 70s. I know this would be considered, like, pop punk, I guess. Again, it was released in, I think it was released as a single in 2003, January 2003, as I say here. But yeah, they sound like they're from, like 25 years earlier or something. They sound, like I said, yeah, just a callback, obviously with Pete's voice here. And searching up how to say his last name, apparently I've heard people say it as, Pete Doherty, but I see here that people say it's actually pronounced as Pete Doherty. But either way, Pete here, his voice is so distinct, obviously, such a distinctive voice. And he sings pretty fast here. There's 6 verses. And again, the song's only like 2 minutes, 40 seconds. The video goes on, for like 15 seconds more. But yeah, his voice he's so fast paced. And honestly, like I said, yeah, maybe it's just because seeing here Mick Jones was the producer of this track. Of course, Mick Jones from The Clash. I'm losing my voice. Mick Jones from The Clash there. Maybe that's why I get such a feel that, this is a callback to, like the 70s or something. And maybe it's also just because I just listened to a punk song from the 70s. But either way, they just sound like an older band. And also, Pete's voice, I know he wasn't that old here. But his voice just sounds so, he sounds wise. He sounds kind of, old. He sounds kind of, like he's been through a lot of shit. Yeah, his voice just sounds kind of rough, and I really enjoyed that as well. You know, I don't know, you get a certain feel here from the band, obviously, and what the context of the song is too. I mean, it's all wrapped up very well in what they're talking about, so the voice just fits perfectly for that. And also, I have to say, I really enjoyed the chemistry here between band members. I want to say, okay, so Gary Powell on drums here. Really enjoyed Gary and Pete's chemistry. How Gary would, you know, he would make the sound, the best way I could describe, you know, it's like the dun 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 dun, and then Pete just kind of follows with his voice and just sings to the beat that he's doing. I don't know if you understand. I hope you do. That, you know, Pete and Gary were just in sync here with Pete's vocals and Gary's drumming. And yeah, and again, it's just how it starts off. It's so quick. I love the guitar here from Carl. I want to say Barat. I think it's how you say his last name. I don't want to say Borat. But anyway, Carl here on guitar. And of course, John Hassel, not Howell, John Hassel on bass. And yeah, they were just so in sync here. And they just had such a, it seems like they had such a great mission in mind to get their point across here for such a, obviously, you know, talking about riots here, the London riots. I mean, my goodness gracious, now I got a burp. Holy moly. My goodness. Anyway, we're having trouble, but we're going on with the London riots. I mean, obviously, this song, you know, it sounds kind of upbeat in a way, you know, the music anyway. And, you know, Pete, you can't really understand every word he's saying. But, you know, with this song being about, you know, police brutality, which Pete has dealt with the song being about with the London May Day riots of 2000, it says here. But also I do know that it happened in 2001 as well. And I do see there's like different, which I don't understand here, because there's some people talk about how Pete was at, you know, the London May riots of 2000, and then some say it was of 2001. Maybe it was at both. I don't know, but it's, you know, it's, that's a little bit of a problem here. This is 2001 and 2000 in different sites that I'm on. But either way, I do know that there were some riots, you know, in both years. And, you know, again, not being from London, not being British or anything, being in Canada, I don't really, I never really heard about these riots and stuff. But basically, I guess it was, you know, about anti-capitalism in 2000, I guess it was, and also just about how it got out of hand, like many movements, many you know, parts do. You have your, you know, your peaceful protest people, and you have some people who take it to the extreme and just start looting and start, you know, breaking, you know, into stores or whatever, and setting fire, whatever. I mean, yeah, you have some extreme people, some anarchists in a way as well. And basically, from seeing here, you know, I guess I've talked about everything I wanted to talk about with the music and everything. I mean, like I said, really fast-paced song, really got their point across, and short and sweet to the point. Just really enjoyed that part. Very, you know, easy to listen to and take in. Like I said, unless, you know, you might have some trouble understanding Pete's words throughout the whole thing. But either way, I really enjoyed just the sound. It sounded very catchy, obviously. But anyway, seeing here on Song Facts, you know, just to talk about the song, you know, the meaning of the song, which I always like to get into. And actually, before I say that as well, I wanted to talk about, because, you know, there is feelings of love. There's feelings of hate here. There's feelings of romance, I guess you would say, love as well than that, but romantic kind of thing. Because he talks about, you know, in the lyrics, which I'll get to in a minute, but where he talks about, you know, I cherish you, my love, and he's talking about that stuff as well. So I'm very intrigued here. A lot of emotions happening, which, I mean, that describes a riot and everything very well. But anyway, and of course, I feel like riots and obviously movements and everything never going to stop. You know, you're going to have your protests, and sometimes they're going to go out of control. Depends on what you're fighting for. Whether you know, whoever disagrees or agrees with whatever, people are going to fight for the right to party, but are going to fight for the right to, you know, whatever they think is right. I mean, yeah, and sometimes it's going to get out of hand, and obviously, you know, this is one of those points here. Anyway, it says here on Song Facts, like I was saying, a mix of Pete's personal experiences with reports of police brutality at the London May riots in 2000 form the basis of the song. The poetic mix of love and war captured the thrill of fighting for a cause. Libertines frontman said, I felt like there were so many things wrong, and I didn't know how to channel it. For that moment, I was with the people who believed the same thing. So talking about that, maybe Pete wasn't even at it. It's just saying, well, I guess personal experiences of police brutality and about the May riots. Maybe he wasn't even at the May riots. He was just talking about it, I guess. I had in my head that he was there. Either way, maybe you can tell me in the comments what you think. Anyway, yeah, he talks about, you know, the London May Day riots. And again, you want to channel what you feel, you know, whether it's anger, sadness, tragedy, whatever. And obviously he put that in the song. And how he said, you know, he just didn't know what to say, where to channel it. And obviously if you're a songwriter, if you're a musician, I mean, that's good to put that into a song, you know, try to make some money out of it at least, or try to get some fame or whatever. I mean, hell yeah, go for it, rock on. And here, that's where it is. You know, you got to channel it and, you know, put that into a song or whatever. Because again, if somebody knows how to write a song and put their feelings into it very well, then yeah, it's just like, it's going to be relatable for a lot of people, and there you go. And also, as this says here, like I said, Mick Jones being the producer here of The Clash, the Clash's debut single was White Riot. So it all kind of fits in here. And maybe that's, did I already say, I don't know, but yeah, maybe that's why I feel like they're a callback here with Mick Jones as a producer here. They just sound like maybe I'm just getting Clash vibes or something. I don't know. But again, Mick Jones being a producer, I mean, that's very nice to, you know, I would imagine the Libertines were very, very happy for that. Because again, it's Mick Jones. He's a living legend. Anyway, it goes on about, you know, how the White Riot was inspired by Notting Hill riots in West London in 1976. So again, you get these great songs, you get these great little tunes out of, you know, these riots, you know, because people want to talk about how they feel about all this stuff, and they want to get their opinion out there somehow. And like, you know, Pete kind of said, you know, I didn't know what to do, so why not write a track about it? I mean, my God. But either way, I mean, goodness gracious. And I have seen comments from Pete. Again, there's been riots since then in London or whatever, and how he says, you know, he kind of condemns them all. He thinks everybody's kind of corrupt. That's what I see here. You know, he says, you know, obviously the politicians are corrupt. The people, you know, looting and setting fire and stuff, you know, are also kind of lost as well. So yeah, to him, from what I see, it's just like everything's just kind of fucked. I mean, yeah, it's just like, what can you do? I mean, it's just, as somebody, you know, who really loves like George Carlin, you know, a great comedian, you know, it's fun sometimes, I don't know, just to sit there, just watch. I mean, of course, if your business, you know, if you have a local business or your house is being, you know, destroyed, it's not very fun to just look and watch, but just to sit back and watch the world, you know, spiral down the drain. But anyway, that's kind of a dark look at everything. But yeah, obviously these things are going to keep happening, obviously with movements and everything. And sometimes, like I said, there's just going to be more extreme people who take it, you know, a little bit further than some would like, and get their message across, you know, and then people see them as just, you know, anarchists, and see the whole movement as anarchists, because some people, like I said, go to the extreme. But anyway, I just want to look at some of these lyrics. I guess I've said basically everything I wanted to say. I don't want this video to be too long, but looking at these lyrics anyway, because I haven't yet. I mean, my God, I've been talking. Like I said, I'm kind of sick, but I can still talk apparently. With the first verse when he comes in, if I can scroll up here, what the hell's going on? Computer froze. But anyway, yeah, did you see the stylish kids in the riot? It goes on, shoveled up in the, like, muck. I like the word muck. Set the nights on fire. Reminds me of a Doors line. Set the nights on fire. Wombles bleed, truncheons and shields. You know I cherish you, my love. So this romantic part, like I was saying, there are some, oh my God, there are some annotations here on Genius, where he talks about, you know, the stylish kids in the riot are the upper class young scallywags who joined in the May Day riots in 2001. Also, it says, in addition to this, Peter has stated in an old interview that once back in the day, he walked past a police officer with a riot shield, a plastic riot shield. When he caught his reflection in the shield, he didn't like what he saw, so he started fixing his hair. The officer thought he was making fun of him and gave him a beating. So that's just, I mean, I love that attitude of just like, oh, I don't like my hair, and you're fixing it in the thing, in the riot shield, and then the police officer just starts beating you, which obviously, I mean, I'm not surprised, but obviously it's a fucked up thing to do, to beat somebody, whatever, who's not doing anything. They're just fixing their hair, because it's just like, why not? But I just love that attitude that he had there. And obviously, yeah, he's speaking from experience here for the whole song. He's, you know, talking about police brutality, which he's, you know, dealt with police, I guess, here. And he's showing that. And basically, yeah, it's just like, you know, he talks about for these whole 6 verses, he's really letting his feelings out. And, you know, how he says, you know, somewhere like in this 4th verse, you know, and I sighed and sunken with pride while I passed myself down on my knees. I passed myself down on my knees. So again, you know, sunken with pride, just like, how do I feel, you know, how can I feel prideful about anything that's going on here? You know, of course, the chorus, you know, very infectious. Now tell me what you can want. Now you've got it all. The scene is obscene. Time will strip it away, a year and a day. And Bill Bones knows what I mean. Of course, Bill Bones being a character from a book, which I can't remember the name of now, but he was like a drunkard and everything. And I guess here that seeing here, for an annotation, why not? That Bill Bones is one of the characters that Pete has a liking for. So again, just, you know, inserting things that he likes into a song where it's just like, you know, it's not about a great subject, but, or a fun subject, really. But either way, I mean, I guess that's all I'm going to really say. You know, 15 minutes in here, my goodness gracious. But yeah, obviously riots, I mean, they're going to happen a lot. I don't think they're ever going to stop, obviously. But, you know, it's good to channel whatever you feel about a riot and put it into a song. And that's what Pete did here. And, you know, talk about experience. And obviously as well, this is a fan favorite. So, I mean, they did something good about something, you know, bad that they felt. So anyway, my goodness, I'm going to go now. Sorry for my voice, you know, kind of cracking up there and just stopping at one point. But anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, subscribing, commenting, all that stuff. Really appreciate all the support. I hope I got most things right here because, again, it's hard to talk about something like this when I don't really know everything about it. You know, again, not living in London, not being British or anything. And not, you know, getting the full picture, but obviously just seeing that, you know, I guess Pete didn't agree with much of what was going on, obviously. And, yeah, I mean, I think that's, you know, the minimum that you can get from this, you know, the minimum basics of it all. So anyway, thanks again for watching. I'll talk to you guys again soon.